Preparing live stream into the Zoom, into Facebook Live land. We are the Podguyz Podcast, bringing it to you live as we do. 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. We are right on time every time, almost. I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, we have the ever-loving Picasso, the man in the glasses, creator of not things comic booky.
Yeah,
not comic booky. The portrayer of everything non-Picasso.
Okay.
Les Sparky.
And Sparky's got the big board there. He puts the consonant and the vowel together to give us the word hi. He greets the audience via drawing on the board. Tony,
he greases the board
guest,
in such
good friend of the show, big fan of the Podguyz Podcast. He does. We got, look at that. Now it says my internet connection is unstable. Do I look unstable?
Our Foursquare is blessed with Hector Deliz.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? I heard Sparky, and all of a sudden, I don't know. But everyone.
Fucking just done.
Fun fact about Hector, real quick. Fun fact, he was not found on the flight log of Jeffrey Epstein's airplane.
Yay! Congratulations, sir. Congratulations.
On the list.
Yeah.
You said
small list in Hollywood, sir.
Yeah. No. I'm not. Except I'm never on any list. Even if I'm trying to go to into a party or into a club, I'm not on any list. So it's I'm used to it already.
Did you try?
You did make the red carpet, right?
Red carpet. Yeah. The only way I can make a red carpet is I'm the one laying it.
You made it though.
Yay!
But I'm a slave to my craft. But
start to walk on it a little bit. One of the directors say, "Stop that! You're not no." Now return.
Yeah, just go away.
Well, when I first started, I started doing background. That's why we started talking background. When I first started, I started doing background, and the funny thing about doing that is basically when you're into it, you have to come up with your own actions. So I used to come up with my own self-serving actions, and the APs, the associate producer, they used to let me do my thing because it would usually end up being something funny, and they would leave it in. So I was in Law and Order. I was in a ton of Law and Order, and they had a multi-force search party happening and stuff, and I was one of the FBI guys. I got my windbreaker on and stuff. So they're telling everybody, and then they have to go out, and everybody's walking out orderly and stuff. And I'm the only one that walks over, and I go and I pour myself a cup of coffee, and I stand there looking around. So then, what did they do? They wanted to have some fun with me. They put me on the other side of the room. Boom, action.
Doing the same thing.
I went right back, got the cup of coffee, and I stood there. And then I grabbed the donut.
Should have stood there and broke the fourth wall the whole time, Hector. We're
well, what happened was I was hungry. I wasn't union yet. So the non-union crafty is all the way out and, behind God's back and West Bubba fuck. And then, the SAG one is right there, but I couldn't get a hold of that. So I was really hungry. They had some donuts there. So when I came back around, I saw the donuts were there. So, oh, yeah. They made the mistake, idiots. They've got crawlers.
You take those.
Take those damn crawlers.
Oh no,
listen,
man! If you see a dozen crawlers there and you put me in that room, you're gonna come back.
God.
Oh yeah.
There are so many. See, the scale between rich actors and starting off actors, it's negative. Not even zero. It's negative money. It's negative to holy crap, I can't believe Marlon Brando just got $1 million to read a paragraph and say no, he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they actually pay folks to audition, which is hysterical. But I'd love to get to that level. The nice thing about what I do is whenever I feel that I hit a wall, I'll say, wait, stop a second. 5 years ago, I was dreaming that I'd be in this position. So be happy, keep on going. In 5 years, we'll see where I'm at. And that's the way it's like, it's not a competition, it's not a race, it's a journey. I mean, I
That's
went from
100% accurate. It's
yeah.
always a journey. And not to say, like, what was your very first credit that you had with your name actually in the title instead of, like, background actor?
Sex, Drugs, and Comedy. That was a film. That was a documentary. A few of my friends were in it. At that time, I was transitioning from, King of the Open Mics, because I actually ran my own, like one of the most popular open mics for like 13 years. I ran the Maui mic. It was the funniest thing. It was out of a Chinese-owned, Hawaiian-themed Mexican restaurant.
Wait, can you say that one more time?
Yeah, break that.
It was a Chinese-owned, Hawaiian-themed Mexican restaurant, Maui Taco.
Okay.
I'm talking pineapple salsa. It's a party in your mouth. I think that was their tagline. It's a party in your mouth, which
Yeah.
that's what I used to tell the girls in high school. But anyway, so I used to do the open mic downstairs in the basement, and we would start at 8 o'clock, and sometimes we'd run till like 1 a.m. Everybody and their grandmother would show up. Now, before we started the show, you mentioned Richard Pryor, and I got to tell you, I got to co-produce rather, a benefit open mic with Richard Pryor Jr. For Sandy Aftercare. It was after Hurricane Sandy.
Oh, wow.
And that's when big name comics came down to my little basement and paid me $5 so they could go up on stage.
That's crazy. Now, what part of that was was an actual, like, sweatshop?
No.
Because it's Mexican-owned or Chinese-owned Mexican restaurant. Just sounds to me like they're making counterfeit shit in the bottom of a Chinese restaurant somewhere.
No, listen, the food was really awful. It was
Well, Hector, speaking of the food that was there, Sparky does have a little bit of a diagram of what the food kind of looked like, kind of tasted like. Sparky, flip that big board around there, my man.
I gotta put my glasses on for this.
Says,
hey, are you there? Are you here to help Mr. Hawking? No, I am working in the background making a list. So smart.
Wasn't Mr. Hawking on the list?
He was on the list, yeah.
248 times.
Come on, baby. Wait. Gotta do it right. Come on, baby. Come on.
No.
Don't tell me your age. I don't want to know your age. Don't tell me your age.
Hector, we bring up a really good point that Kevin needs to bring up.
What's that?
Real quick, in the theory of everything, Stephen Hawking does talk about how time is irrelevant, and that's just like
he was a brilliant mind.
We get it, we get it.
Yeah, but look, in the theory of everything, I don't know how much he did at Epstein Island, because they pretty much established in the movie he wasn't able to take care of business in the bedroom department with his wife. So like it was okay for her.
I believe Stephen Hawking had about as much sex as Helen Keller had thoughts of her own. Like
I believe he had a mechanical device.
What's that?
Did you know why Helen Keller's leg was always yellow?
I do not know.
Her dog was blind too.
Man, what a dog.
Oh, come on. Come on.
I polished that one up from high school.
I happen to think that Stephen Hawking had a mechanical device that he hooked up to his chair through USB in order to please women.
I think he got satellites involved. I'm thinking he got satellites involved. Suddenly nobody could get a hold of anybody else on ComSat, but
Stephen Hawking. All right, satellite 14, you need to move partially left and right and left and right and left. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I knew a guy who used to always beg for money on the train, And he had this. I mean, we wasn't golf buddies. I'm saying he was like I recognized him from the neighbor. I would see him on the train. He's going, please, whatever you.
Oh, he had the thingy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
he could talk perfectly. He had a voice. He would just breathe through his mouth while doing that thing, and people would give him more money. It was, I honestly, it's like
pretty good con, yeah.
Yeah. No, well,
There are some scumbags out there.
At some point, you gotta think, you gotta pay that kind of karma, man. You know, it's like it would be ironic, like you suddenly lose your voice. You know what I'm saying? Or like,
well, Stephen Hawking was officially the first ever robot sex doll. Officially. Yeah.
Robot sex dolls. You know,
he was
that's
doing
the funny thing. Whenever mankind comes out with a new invention, there's always some wise guy who comes up with a way of sticking it up somebody's ass. You ever notice that? It's like they invented, the camera. All of a sudden, it's hey,
what the hell?
They actually have Hector. They actually have a sex doll out there that you can program it to be in wife mode. Now, when you switch it into wife mode, you can hear a noise coming from the robot, and that is the sound of the vagina closing.
Oh, I thought if you want to go into wife mode, just power it off and then speak to it, and it'll listen to you the exact same way.
No, that is you murdered your wife mode. That is Scott Peterson mode. That's like I was gone fishing. I don't know what to tell you. My wife just died.
Yeah, no, listen. I don't condone that kind of violence, but sometimes I can understand.
We would never.
I would never do it. But it's like
I just like how he came back with 0 fish, and the cops were like, "Hey, where were you?" And he's like, "Well, isn't it obvious? I was out fishing
you guys are
for
too
days."
Soon to stop Peterson jokes. I'm just saying, this is too soon. Whoa, take it easy now. How about that John Wayne Bobbitt?
Oh, goddamn.
Come on. We got to give one to the other side. You mentioned Scott Peterson. We got to give one to the other side.
You're right. Lorena Bobbitt, she was a cutter, not of herself, but
Yeah. Well, he wasn't the kind of man he used to be.
Lorena Bobbitt believed in safe sex so much that
wow. And then he started doing porn. That was the funny thing.
He did. Maybe
she just wanted a scissor a lot.
Everyone wanted to see if the dick still worked, Hector. That's why he they're like, whoa, we know what happened. And you know what? You know that the government is run by a lot of men at that time, because when that was told they happened, they're like, drain the fucking Hudson. We'll find it for him. Holy shit, this is awful. And they found it. They did find it. They reattached it and everything.
Yeah, 4-inch nub went right into 10 inches.
Well, I mean, they could find the 4-inch nub, but all of these missing people, come on now. Come on.
So it was 4 inches. So she got it. She cut it off when he was, engorged, I would imagine.
He was getting there.
No, because honestly, it doesn't take much to cut it if you're not like, I'm just, some guys are growers and not showers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cheers to that, sir. Cheers.
Cheers indeed.
Yeah. I mean, they're all different. You know what I mean? At least that's what the girls say.
So Hector, switching up the subjects just a little bit, we can really dive deep into the dick jokes, no problem, that's for sure. But you are in the movie Daredevil. What's that like?
Whoa, not the movie, the series.
Yeah,
the series, right? Okay.
Right. That was that basically came to be out of the blue. I was really surprised by it. What happened was they were looking for an old boxer / referee look, and I used to box amateur. Okay, that's where I get this country road of a nose. You see,
yeah.
I was really good at punching. I was horrible at ducking, which is kind of important.
That's kind of true. Yeah,
kind of important not getting hit. With me, how like they give people nicknames when they're boxers. You know what I mean? Like I was the Bronx housewife. I got beat up every night. It was, I got beat up more than an alcoholic's wife on Bill Day. You know what I'm talking about?
Now, what was your amateur? You were an amateur or pro?
Amateur. There was no
amateur.
way. I was
okay, what was your amateur record at that point when you were done?
Scratched up and warped.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
My amateur record was all scratched up and warped.
Oh.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
It's nothing to be proud of. You know, you ever talk to these guys and they tell you they're boxers? And
look, all you need is one win. All you need is one win, Hector.
Yeah, no, I was awful. I really, you know, the only thing I was fighting was the notion that I wasn't a boxer.
I hate when that happens. You have to fight OSHA.
You know, but then I started doing referees. I was used to do the referee for the matches for the boys club shows. You know, so that way the kids, they get the kids off the street, and the kids, you know, they were boxing, learning fair play, and it was a good thing. I did that for a few years. So
walk us through what they were looking, and not to say what they were looking for, but you know, you were in the right place, right time. You were at the you know, like, how'd you hear about it?
Well, no, it all started when I wound up with a manager, and that's the thing. I wound up joining an agent, rather. I wound up joining the union thanks to that, because I was one of these happy non-union guys. I was taking all kinds of union and non-union work. So I was trying to avoid the union as much as possible. But because when you want to see, if you're going to be union and you're doing background, all you're going to be is union background. So that's why I held out. I'm like, no, nonsense. I want to do a little bit more. I want to create some content. I want to, you know, it's like, I want my kids, honestly, I want my grandkids to be able to see me selling weed to RZA on Wu-Tang and American Saga.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You know, or, you know, palling around with somebody else's grandkid in some medicine commercial. So that way they can still see me when I'm no longer around. I wish I could see my grandfather selling weed to RZA.
That'd be awesome.
I've got a great story about my grandfather, though. When I grew up in Brooklyn, I grew up on Grand Street and Graham Avenue, and the funny thing was that was the borderline. So, like, Graham Avenue was Via Vespucci, okay, on one side, and it was the Avenue of Puerto Rico on the other. You see, and I lived on Grand Street, so my nickname was Spaghetti and Beans. Everybody in the neighborhood had a nickname. Mine was Spaghetti and Beans. And now, my grandfather, when I was a little kid,
is that because they couldn't tell if you were Italian or Mexican? Is that like where because kids come up with some very unfiltered nicknames?
Not Mexican. I'm indigenous / Italian.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So now what basically happens is, of course, I grew up on Via Vespucci. I hung out with these guys, and this happened in terms of the accent. And mind you, that was from like the age of 10 on. But my grandfather used to take me around the neighborhood when I was a kid on Sundays. He always buy me candy, and he always used to call me Sweetie. And he would introduce me to, like, he would go around to all the neighborhood stores and took me with him. He'd buy me balloons, he'd buy me candy, buy me ice cream, taking me around. I thought it was really nice walks. Turns out, years later, I found out, no, he used to collect the numbers. So he used to take me around.
Of course.
No cop is going to stop him because he's walking around with a little kid. So I was...
That's a smart guy, though.
That's so smart.
So he always used to take, I mean, I didn't mind. I was a little fat kid. I ate so much candy and ice cream and stuff. And then everybody in the neighborhood, all the guys in the corner stores, in the you know those hunting and sporting,
the bodegas and all that fun shit.
No, you know those hunting and sporting clubs or the bocce clubs where nobody hunts or sports or bocces?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get these little old guys sitting in front, and when I was dating my wife, we were walking in front, going through the neighborhood. All of a sudden, they said, "Hey, sweetie, how you doing?" And my wife's like, "Sweetie," like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's people calling you sweetie. It's, yeah, Grandpa started that one, but that was why I was his cover. I was his.
That's so smart. So smart.
Yeah, that was Grandpa. He was awesome, though. He really was.
Sparky, what do you got on the big board over there?
Yeah, he's been drawing for a while.
He's been going hard.
He goes at it. Hey, you are not Nicolas Cage, and you should be in black and white. I quit. What's going on there, Sparky?
Wow. Sparky, I don't know. Do you have, I'm thinking you might have an addiction to Funko Pops.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I don't know why. I get that feeling. Jeez. Is he selling them?
He only sells them to himself.
You know, it does kind of look like he could stream live from TikTok and pick one and start selling them off. The thing is, he lacks a little bit of charisma on the idea. Yeah, the time, the timer should be there, right?
We'll swear we're on TikTok, In fact, every so often you change up the outfit and you act like you're somebody else, and they're like, "Wow, there's everybody selling Funko Pops on this."
Remember how
Sparky, you're missing your golden opportunity.
Yeah, but then I was doing the same thing with
Rick. Try to sell the whole batch off to him.
No. You should sell it from the room. You go and buy them online from somebody else. You make your profit, and you're like, "Oh, this is where it came from."
Yeah, you look like you got a really successful Funko Pop business going.
Yeah.
Do they at this point? Do they send you free stuff?
No.
I wish. That'd be great.
Doing it wrong.
Doing it all wrong.
This whole collection is Star Wars, actually.
Oh. So you haven't really gotten into girls yet, huh, Sparky?
No.
So the old puberty fairy didn't show up yet?
Sparky's married with 12 kids.
Get out
it's
of
more
here.
like the 50-year-old virgin, like the
yeah.
step up right there. A little bit of a step up.
His bucket list still includes kissing a girl.
Oh, stop it.
His bucket list is literally Mr. Bucket, the childhood toy.
I'm just playing.
Anyways, Hector, let's talk about your life. Of course, you did some a little bit of stand-up comedy, right? Tiny bit, a couple of years.
Actually, did it. I started doing it in the late '80s, early '90s. Then started doing a lot of road gigs, all around Pennsylvania, Connecticut, upstate New York. Funny story. When I was younger, I used to look a lot like Vincent Pastore. I'm not sure if you can
I can see that. Yeah.
Big Pussy.
Yeah.
You put me in a suit, you'll think I'm Big Pussy's son now. But now a lot of people used to mistake me for Vincent Pastore, and I did background work on The Sopranos.
Okay.
So nothing major, just background stuff. So the guy who was booking the comedy tour asked me, he goes, "Hey, were you in The Sopranos?" I'm like, "Yeah." We didn't talk any further. He's like, "Oh, yeah, no, yeah, okay, yeah, great show." And he kept on going. I'm like, "All right." Next thing you know, I got booked on a comedy tour.
Oh, shit.
So we did the whole Eastern Seaboard and stuff, and it was great. And the thing was, it was all urban rooms, and that is my favorite crowd. Okay.
Always fantastic. Always.
And
they know what comedy is all about. Like, people are there to actually laugh and enjoy, and like not fight and like bicker and all that shit.
Nothing makes they're being told, "Hey, you're a funny N-word" at the end of a show.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
now, Hector.
Well, so I was gonna say, at the end of the tour, about maybe 2 weeks later, the guy calls me up. He's like, "Hey, man, settle an argument, man. What part did you play in The Sopranos?" I'm like, "I was mob guy in the back, number 32. I mean, I used to walk back and forth. I used to walk back and forth in the bar of Bing looking at titties. I mean, that's
true.
That's what I used to do. And those scenes were filmed in Secaucus, Eddie Jr.'s. In fact, I used to do a comedy show out of the Blue Room at Eddie Jr.'s, which that was a fun story, man. Because a lot of the comics used to, because it shared the same building as not just the parking lot. So, like, you could actually go into the strip club from there. I never did because I never saw the censor strip clubs. I don't go to restaurants to watch people cook a steak that I'm not going to eat.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm not going to want to eat a steak that's been rubbing all over everybody half the day. So that's the way I look at it. The drinks are too expensive, and it just to me it looks like a sucker's bet. And so but
Every girl wants to be your girlfriend, and she just wants all your money.
Yeah. So then what
That's
happens? So the comics used to all go next door. They all go hang out, spend some money. Usually, whatever they made, they would spend it next door, so the girls were happy. Now, every so often, I would bring my wife with me. My wife would handle the ticket, the box office and stuff, because I like running a family operation. I saw a lot of comics go out on the road by themselves, and they wind up in divorces. With me, I used to make a weekend out of it. We go to the
Yeah.
Pocono Friday, Saturday. I got 2 shows at PBC. Boom, we're hanging out. We're going this way. We're going to the restaurants. We're going to the to the casino. We're having a nice time. That's you got to do that. That's why I'm still married to the same woman all these years. She hasn't figured out she's on the losing end of the stick, but don't tell her.
Now you made a living out of not necessarily even doing comedy and acting, but that's the full-time gig now, right?
Now, yeah, that's all I do. The funny thing was, after working for years at the buildings, because I did it for the housing authority. Then I took a buyout, and then I went to work in the private sector, and that was a lot of fun. And that's how I started getting into comedy, because I started working in a building where Gladys Simon, she's one of the more famous comedy producers in New York. That was when she was at Hamburger Harry's, and she was dying to get me to go on stage, and I'm like, hey, no, nah. And finally, one day I showed up. I started doing it, and I had a lot of fun, and then started making a couple of bucks here and there. It was good times and stuff. And let's see, I produced a comedy show that I used to record for public access, and I used to record the show in Near's Tavern. That's the bar where they filmed Goodfellas. The bar with the sliding doors.
Yeah, that's a little north of it's in the same area near Kennedy Airport around there.
Yeah, it's like by 75th Street, past the big high school.
Yep.
And so I did that there for a few years. Basically, I produced a lot of shows in the city. Then basically just having fun with it, man. That's all. Let me tell you, that's all I've been doing. And even with this, it's like I realized I was doing background. I'm like, okay, I like doing this. They feed you, they pay you. It's not backbreaking work. Sometimes it can be, because a lot of times background, like they're standing for hours and hours on. Let me tell you, these people, and without them, you don't have a story. See, I know the beauty of background. Like that was my most fun when we were doing between shots, when we were doing Daredevil. They had like 400 something extras sitting in the bleachers. So between takes, I would start talking to different folks, and I let them know, nice. Hey, it wasn't that long ago. I was sitting right there.
Have you ever talked to any of the main characters, or were they just kind of?
No. This is okay. I gotta think. If you did something that I loved, okay, I always do the same thing. I go up. I'm like, okay, I need permission to fanboy out for about 8 seconds.
For just a second.
Yeah. After that, we're colleagues, okay?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. And I did that to Vincent D'Onofrio. I mean, come on. He was Private Pyle in Full Metal.
Fucking love D'Onofrio.
Yeah. One of the best actors around. When he went Law and Order, Criminal Intent, when they went from him, every episode that he starred in, those were the episodes to watch. Dude that played the Fly right off the rip, he tried. I'm not talking any smack. He tried, but the difference in tone of the episodes were so much better with D'Onofrio that when you're watching another great actor, you're just still disappointed.
No,
Well, I was.
Now,
So
not
what-
only that, now you worked on, did you work on the ones in the Law and Order that had D'Onofrio in it, or were you afterwards?
Yeah, but see, when you're doing background, you're nowhere near them. You're not even.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, were you in those episodes with D'Onofrio, or were you after?
I was in a bunch of different episodes over the years. I was
okay.
yeah. The one that I'm known most for is that's when they started using me as featured background. We were shooting for winter. Everybody's in coats, and it's in August. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Now, I had a towel because I was sweating like a hooker in church. So I had a towel, and I'm just mopping myself, and then as soon as it was we were in front of a mural, a little kid, oddly enough, a little kid named Hector died. So now there's the name Hector. We're supposed to be sad. So I was really sad that Hector died. Because fucking Hector. When he was, one less Hector in the world. What? No, but anyway, so I'm using it as soon as they say action, it became a tear. I'm crying and I'm wiping up tears. Now, one of my granddaughters, she happened to pass by the TV when this was happening. She saw me and she picked up my daughter's phone and she saw me, she knew enough that she was like 3. She pushed my picture and she called me and she asked me if I was okay because she saw me crying.
aww.
And I'm like, I did a good job. All right. But yeah, little things like that. I like when the kids see me in the commercials and stuff. I did, and what's nice is I even do Spanish commercials because I'm bilingual, so I do a lot of the Spanish commercials. Which
Hector, you got a very versatile
relatives.
face right off the rip, man. Like your versatility, just with your face alone, you could do a lot with that.
Yeah.
I did a routine for years about you didn't know what movie I was in if you saw me. Like 1 second, like Slumdog Millionaire, West Side Story. Then you open your mouth, Goodfellas. And I played it all, man. I mean, I got booked for
Forget
background.
about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah, look, the first time I got featured that I wasn't background and I got booked as background, I wound up getting a $1,200 bump up. What happened was casting messed up. The guy was filming, this guy was from Israel, and he was filming a Hebrew knockoff of Goodfellas.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean, what would that be like, though, right? What are they going to rob? The fucking sack full of penny? Like, come on.
Oh, no. I want you to realize something.
Yeah.
Every single ethnic group has their own Cosa Nostra. Remember that.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah. No, there's the mafia of Ireland. Wait. Let's name one that definitely doesn't. Okay, name one that you are so certain doesn't.
Somalis.
I think we saw
things
one
we
of
got,
them,
bro.
Tony. But yeah, you're onto something there. We're probably gonna go with Somalians don't have a mafia, and if they do, we've seen them, and it's not that organized of a crime.
Well, no, what they do when they run an organization, they don't just do little clandestine things here and there. No, they take over the government. That's what they do.
So you think they took? Okay, so Hector, you're saying that you think that they took over Minnesota? They changed the flag. They're like, we got this shit. So the Somalians were so good at it.
No, back home where they were at, because that's the reason why so many people had to come over here, because the shit over there got so freaking hectic, they had to get the hell out of Dodge. That happens with every war. I mean, look, in World War II, how many people were leaving, getting out of there, trying to get over here because we weren't even involved, And see, I was proud of the fact that being Americans, we look like everybody. So we're fighting Japanese, that's why they used to have to say, oh, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, because we didn't have an internet back then. So like people in Japan didn't know who the hell these people were. That's how you knew if we were American. I'm proud of that.
We do have an accent too. There's undeniable accent where I've been in Saudi Arabia before, and right when they hear the American accent, addressed by like 3 guys I've never been talked to with such higher respect than these Saudi Arabians have. They took me into town, coffee, the whole thing, and they asked questions about America, which part I'm from. They were from Pennsylvania, so they brought up Groundhog Day. How is Groundhog Day is such a worldwide movie? Bill Murray literally was at the top right there.
Yeah.
You can't do anything better than Groundhog Day. But unfortunately, I do have that theory that if you replace Bill Murray with Chevy Chase or Dan Aykroyd, that movie's still good. It's still a good movie.
Well, did you know the fan theory behind Groundhog Day?
I've heard 5 or 6 different ones, but which one do you got?
Okay, Bill Murray was in hell.
Oh, yep. The Ned Ryerson is the devil. Yeah,
Ned Ryerson is the devil.
I've heard that one.
The end, he freaking knocks him on his ass, and he even denies him at the end when he says, "What are we doing next?" And they're like, "Oh, let's not ruin it."
No, Hector, that at the end when Bill Murray has his ideal life, Ned Ryerson says, "So do you want to sign now the insurance?" And he buys the biggest policy and he signs his soul away. So now he's stuck there in Punxsutawney, which is his own version of hell for a soul. Yeah.
If he was to do all the things that he learned to do while he was there, he was in Punxsutawney for approximately 34 years.
I've heard a larger number, but yeah, definitely 34 sounds like a much more realistic
34
one.
34 years, because we're talking about he would have to learn and get really good at ice sculpting.
Mm-hmm.
Not an easy thing to do. Learning as an adult to play piano, that's one of the most difficult things. Okay, that's like getting your wife to forgive you or say that you're right.
I mean, the prize though, right? I guess to stop the loop, he had to bang at it. He had to bang out Addie McDowell. Like he had to go to stop the loop. They're like, all right, the only way to do this is you got to fuck your producer. You know this movie's coming from Hollywood if that's the premise of the movie. Yeah. You're like, how about the only way for him to stop the loop is if he has sex with the producer? Harvey Weinstein, get out of the room. God, not him again. But actually, that wasn't a bad idea.
Well, at least the jokes are starting to get timelier. That's good. That's good.
Right. Yeah, I have to apologize. I am a little under the weather right now today. There's something going on with the throat and, work schedule, all that nice crap going on.
Yeah, actually, I caught a stomach virus. You don't even want to know what I was going through, but I wasn't going to tell you guys. No, that's why I look a little work for wear. I didn't even shave.
We thought that this was just everyday life right now, Hector.
I thought your face was a filter right now.
We're like, wow, he was this ugly from start.
And I wanted you guys to see this because but basically I didn't even because usually I have to put something on whenever I'm doing like self tapes and stuff, but no, I wanted to stay full ugly so you guys can see the carnage that is this face.
Well, sir, good job. Much accomplished there.
Hector, I think the one thing that you've always accomplished whenever we bump in once in a while, it's been a long time, but I think the one thing you've always been able to accomplish is your attitude is always positive. And I mean, always positive. You're always way up here.
I love it.
Way up here. Somebody could be, and there's a lot of complainers and bitchers when it comes to, and sometimes they have good reason to complain when it comes to the entertainment industry. But Hector, I've never, ever heard you complain. You're always happy with what you got. And then when you do it at the best level that you could possibly do it at. Sparky's got something on the big board there. Sparky, what's going on?
You know what's funny? My name used to be Hector Luis, and I changed it to my real name when I went union. And
I remember that, Luis. Yeah. What does that say there, Tony?
It says, hi, we are the Podguyz Podcast, still here to see the rodent 67 years later.
We did have a live podcast stream going on at Punxsutawney. I'd say we go again next year, but better equipment. We're going to come more prepared.
We're doing it.
Even. Sparky was at the beginning of Punxsutawney, right at Gobbler's Knob with the sign that said, be on Podguyz Podcast. People were lining up. There was a line of people ready to come on there. It was, they thought that.
You guys got to get de Blasio. You remember when he murdered the Staten Island groundhog when he dropped it and he died like a couple of days later? You got to get on the Punxsutawney and have him handle to give him redemption.
See, there's always some great thoughts on it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, give him a chance to redeem himself.
Yeah.
He's got to feel bad about that.
I remember de Blasio during COVID. He was like, "Wouldn't you want to get the shot for these free French fries?" I'm like, "What are you doing? What are you?"
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'd say
We'll give you a meal. We'll give you a meal if you take the shot.
Yeah, well, they do the same thing if you rat out your friends in the police. When they give you McDonald's.
They were doing that, yeah.
That's
Whenever you see
crazy.
somebody eating French fries and in the questioning room, his friends all got screwed. Mind you, this is not from personal experience. Never been arrested, or should I say, never been caught.
Never been caught. That's a better aspect right there.
No,
for
Hector,
sure.
I do have to backtrack a little bit right now because we're a little off track. But you, sir, growing up in growing in New York, I should say, how do you feel the hot pot of acting, as far as getting out there, doing what you need to do, putting out a reel, making sure that you have your, proper headshots, that you're maintaining your game. What goes into maintaining your game in the acting world right now?
Well,
I mean, that's always a great question.
Yeah, first and foremost, you can't be a douchebag to anybody.
Yeah.
You have to love everybody. Love everybody.
Let me tell you something. Even the guy that makes my coffee in the morning, I give much love and respect to that guy because he's feeding his family with that, and he's making my life better. And it's all a collective team. And honestly, as an actor, I will tell you, we're expendable. And that equation, I am so easily replaced by God knows how many thousands of people they could get after me. Mind you, there's only a handful of people that are director of photography. Only a handful of people that know how to do the wires and the grips and that's it's so many different jobs that go into one thing, and so it's like you got to be nice to everybody. You know what I mean? And like honestly, what made my day on that set for Daredevil, which I really can't talk about it because I only talked about it when I realized I was in the trailer. They actually put a little snippet in the trailer, which I didn't.
Which was
even
phenomenal,
know.
by the way. That was great.
Oh yeah.
My nephew in Florida. Thank you. My nephew in Florida actually was the one that told me about it. I'm having breakfast, and he gives me a call. He's like, "You made the trailer. You made the trailer." I said, "What trailer?" He's like, "Oh, get out of here."
And there are some big names in that Daredevil series. Not even just D'Onofrio, but James Bernthal, as Punisher.
Michael
Gandolfini's in there.
Yeah,
he was and Matt Cox, of course, phenomenal job as Daredevil.
I got to share a green room with Michael Gandolfini for pretty much most of the 3 days.
Oh wow!
And he had one of his buddies who was in the Many Saints of Newark. He played the Big Pussy in that.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Togo. He's not even Italian. He's from the Pacific Islands and stuff.
I didn't hate it. I did not hate it, but I didn't fall in love with that either. Like the Sopranos. My God, you have
it could have
every
been so
season.
Much more.
Correct.
That
yeah,
movie
they were missing
so much more.
There was something missing. I can't put my finger on it, but
actually, it was explained to me. It was explained to me what happened. When you get too many cooks and one pot of stew.
Okay, yeah,
that's our show right here.
Oh no, yeah, I noticed that, but it makes a good soup. It makes a good soup every once in a while. Every so often, nobody dies. That's a good thing.
Nobody died.
But that was, it was great talking with them and stuff. And my favorite moment was when I realized that I would do the same acting exercises to myself that Vincent D'Onofrio did. And I recognized it. And that made me feel good. But what made me, it was funny too, because my line I have basically 3 lines in the whole thing. Like, yeah, 2.5 lines. Yeah. And it's more action because I'm the referee. That's all I can say. I'm the referee in the match. And
Now, by the way, if you watch the trailer, you'll see what happens in the trailer.
yeah. So
Yeah.
and then he basically knocked him into next week. The stunt guys. Oh my God, the stunt guys. They were so awesome. They were just so
Really good.
awesome
Yeah.
to watch. Between takes, they even started doing like a simulated wrestling thing inside the ring. It was so much fun to watch. It was fascinating. But it was just I love Marvel Productions for that reason, because there's like a family atmosphere. And then I kept clowning around because there's always fans hanging out outside, a bunch of kids. God love
Every
them.
time.
It could be cold, it could be rain, and then nobody pays. Like once in a while, somebody will say hi, but every time I will come out, I'll be like, "Hey, what's up?" You do a little hug. I was just freaking happy to be there, man.
It's
So, like,
such a surreal experience, and I know that when they were filming like Spider-Man, there was a bunch of things that were done on a street set, and it was kind of open, so like there was a lot of free range people that were kind of gated off, but they could all watch what happens. Was that the same thing in Daredevil as well, or was it like
no,
a closed set?
It was a closed set, right? And they would just basically what they would do, since it's the Freedom of Information Act, they would go to the websites and find out, by law, they have to say where they're going to be filming at.
Oh yeah.
So they get this information and then they show up, and with me, I admired them. Because that's when you love the franchise that much. And with me, I got to be honest with you, I was thrilled because one of my favorite comic book heroes was Daredevil. I loved him because he was blind, and yet that was his superpower.
Yeah.
He made it work for him, and I was so impressed. The first time I saw him, they had him team up with Spider-Man, and Spider-Man rescues him when he was in his regular clothes, and he shook his hand. From that handshake, he ascertained his age, his height, his weight, okay, how physically strong he was. It was like I used to love Daredevil for that reason. And mind you, I still like Ben Affleck even after what he did to Daredevil.
No,
you
you're
can't
right,
win.
Hector.
You can't win every time with Ben Affleck.
No, you know what? Actually,
It wasn't really his fault.
when he does hit a note, he shouldn't play superheroes. Okay, Batman, that wasn't done right. Daredevil,
Why?
they were
What's
still
wrong with Batman? Wasn't Batman always Batman 35. Remember Angry Bob the comedian?
I remember that. Yeah.
And that's when he was happy. Yeah.
Christian did a pretty amazing job as Batman, but it was almost like American Psycho. Christian Bale was also Bruce Wayne during the daytime, and then he was doing his best version of what Michael Keaton was doing. Michael Keaton, by the way, is almost like a poorly drawn Jack Nicholson anyways. Like they got the same hairline thing. So when they were in the movie together, they were like, okay, let's ask 2 of these guys. If we can get one, we'll have one play the Joker. We'll have one play Batman.
You want to have a laugh though? In the Batman universe, my favorite and the one that I root for, Joker.
Every time.
You root for the Joker.
Yeah.
Joker and Batman are the same guy.
Well,
they both had tragedy.
Hector, I hate to burst your bubble, but Kevin has this running thing
you get to
that I feel like he needs to share with you.
Hector, there's only one bad guy in
one
the
villain.
Batman series. One villain all around. And it's Alfred, okay? And I'll prove it. Alfred is the villain, okay? Now, Bruce Wayne, we know that you know the story. I know the story. Bruce Wayne's there. The guy comes up to his parents. He shoots both of his parents. He's like, sorry, kid, I don't have a third bullet on me or I'd kill you myself. Then the cops, of course, the responsible police go up to the Wayne mansion and they say,
not even Child Protective Services, no CPS,
nothing
just
like
the
that.
cops.
Goes there, knocks on the door. The butler answers the door, and he's like, what happened? They're like, well, the kid's parents got killed, so I guess you're taking care of the kid. He's like, whoa, what the fuck? They're like, yo, man, this is a sweet gig. Just take care of the kid. He's like, I'm going to fuck off on all that, and I'll prove it. So Bruce is there hanging out. Alfred didn't take him to one therapy session at all.
0.
Years later, Bruce comes up to him. He's like 13. He says, hey, Alfred, could I make a bat cave in my basement? I guess I own this house. He's like, yeah, do whatever you want. It's your money. I'm fucking off.
He was
here.
about
It's
15,
no
16 for that. 15, 16.
Okay.
It had to have hit Alfred where he did such a terrible job helping Bruce Wayne out with his childhood trauma that Bruce Wayne comes in full bat suit.
Full
says,
gimp suit.
Hey, he says, hey, Alfred. And Alfred turns around and says, what the fuck? What are you doing? Why are you dressed like that? And he says, I'm going to go out and find the people who killed my parents. Oh, shit. You know what? This is a sweet gig. I'm not fucking it up. Do whatever you feel like you need to do. And it got to the point, Hector. It got to the point where Bruce Wayne gets a child
I'm going to go
involved.
heat up another lobster thermidor in the oven.
Did not give a fuck. 0 fucks were given. If Bruce Wayne spent all of his money instead of on a bat cave and all these fucking gadgets, if he spent his money by giving these same training to actual police officers, we wouldn't have a Joker.
Or a therapist. That would have been great.
Anything. Or a therapist. Like, holy crap. Then he brings in a kid. And by the way, there were 2 Robins. All right. The first Robin became Nighthawk. And that's like, oh, fuck. Thank God nothing happened to that one. But the second Robin,
Nightwing.
the second Robin died.
He became Nightwing.
Nightwing. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. Nightwing.
And that was number 3.
Robin, though, the second Robin died, and Batman's like, how did this happen? The fuck do you mean, how did this happen? You are a dangerous guy to hang out with. You fucking maniac.
Where did you get Batgirl? Where's Batgirl factor in?
Batgirl was, okay, now that's a
Bruce
great
Wayne
question.
wanted to try it
So
out with a
he's-
boat for a change.
So he's influencing the next generation to also be psychopaths in a cape, right? So
I'll
she's
bet you
like
Bruce
Colonel
Wayne was on the Epstein
Commissioner
files.
Gordon. No, absolutely, dude. You know,
Wait, no, see, that was Commissioner Gordon's daughter, was Batgirl, by the way. So,
Commissioner Gordon's got
It's always
daughter.
somebody
Yeah.
you know. It's
so
always
he was
never
old.
strangers.
He was old at that point. He was like in his 40s, if not right to 50, where he was like, hey, I should have this underage girl come to
Hey,
my
let's look at-
Batcave like
let's look
fucking
at the-
Epstein Island.
But let's look at the Alan. What's her name? Sunyi and Woody. the Alan Prevance. How old is he and how old is she? He actually raised his own wife.
Well, she was the babysitter, wasn't she?
No, she was his stepdaughter.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
He came around the family.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
That's
what is that? What
That's
is it?
why I can't sit down to watch Broadway Danny Rose. I can't separate.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. That's some
Yeah.
crazy shit.
You know, I used to love so many of his movies, man. He was one of my favorite directors, and honestly, I can't separate the art from the artist. It's
That's the thing too. Neither could he, Hector, because if you watch one of his movies, everyone sounds like him. He would go up to his directing style, and you've seen directors like go either passive or trust the actors, or say let's do it again, let's do it this way. Woody would go up to people and say, no, say it like this, and he wouldn't stop until they sounded exactly like him.
Yeah.
And Charlie Chaplin used to do the same thing, according to different actors that worked with him. Sparky does have something there on the big board that needs some attention, though.
I am Darebat. Who will fight me? I am Joker Lopez.
Taco, burrito, burrito.
Taco.
Yeah, that's when your parents couldn't afford DC Comics, so they got DCE Comics,
Oh no! You will get those Whitman comics.
Yeah, the cheap
I
ones.
remember. Yeah, the Whitman
Yeah,
comics. But
yeah.
the Whitman comics, they did come out with a couple of things that are collector's items now.
Like
Like they came out with Muhammad Ali versus Superman.
they did. Yeah, yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
And I have a copy that Muhammad Ali autographed for me because he was giving out medals at this was at Gleason's gym when I was boxing. I was about maybe 14. And it was funny because as soon as I found out that Muhammad Ali was handing out medals to the winner, I looked at the guy that I was going up against. I just went like this to him. You're
Fucking
dead.
getting
You,
it.
you are not, no way. And let me tell you, I ran at that guy. As soon as that bell rang, I ran at that guy. He didn't get a chance to get out of the corner. I beat on him like he owed me child support. And
No, Hector, was that your only win?
no, actually, okay. I did win a couple of times.
All right.
I did
That's
win a
fair.
couple of times. Every time I won, with the exception of that fight, every other time that I won, I usually got my nose broken. As soon as somebody would
Oh,
break my
yeah.
nose, I would get desperate. I would get scared, and it's like, okay, no, I gotta put you down.
Yeah.
So the only times I ever won was when I got my nose broken. I got my nose broken 4 times. So do the math.
See, Mike Tyson always brings up a really great line in history. And, as one of the most prolific boxers in history, he says, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
This is very, very true. It's also the same thing. People write such hateful things online now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think-
Yeah.
I think
Keyboard warriors.
there should be an international law that's if you
Wait. Hear ye. Hector
Hector.
Deliz would like to procure. He's going to make this happen as a law. We're ready,
Yes.
Hector. Go forth.
internationally, you have about 72 hours. Within 72 hours, you have to punch that person in the face. They get one punch. It could be from anybody on the planet. They get one free punch. So that means you got to be fast. Okay, you got
And have some money, maybe. Yeah.
And then you get away scot free. That's called the he had it coming law.
It's a pretty nice law. I like it.
Now anyone after that, if you show up late to the party and you punch the guy, now you're going to jail.
Yeah. Now it's just assault.
No, it's just assault. But the first one, come on, you wrote some pretty dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, because honestly, half the shit that people write, they would not say in public, and if they do, it's usually
Oh,
before the-
100%. 100%.
Let me tell
Yeah.
you, I was on a cruise, and I made the mistake of going on a cruise during spring break. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh,
Don't do it.
no.
Because what happens is people that don't usually go on cruises go.
And they get wasted.
Yeah. And basically, Jethro was there with his cousin's sister, and the guy started yelling at me and screaming in my face because here's the situation. I come to the theater and I sit down. These young ladies say, "I'm sorry, sir, but we have the entire row. Take it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, but you can't hold chairs on a cruise ship."
No, you can't. No, that's not a.
No.
Yeah.
The only time you could do it is if you have this thing called the key, or if you have one of the suites. Then you have a schedule from Royal Caribbean with he drapes over the number of seats.
Yeah.
This thing, and that's the only way you could claim seats. If you're not, so then I said, "I'm sorry, ladies, but you can't do that." But I said, "But tell you what, I'm waiting on my wife. You're waiting on your party. Your party shows up first, I move. My wife shows up first, we grab these 2 seats, rest of the row is yours. How's that?" I thought that, to me, that's called Brooklyn logic, yeah?
Yeah.
What happens? She starts, "Oh, you better fucking not. I'm going to get my man to get your ass out of here." I said, "The only thing that your man is going to do is get arrested." and then sued because you see, I'm too old to fight. I fight with attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they hit harder than I could ever throw. Okay. So what happens? She runs off. She comes back with this big fat hubby bubby motherfucker with the only southern accent. And he starts screaming in my face. And I'm there. And he tells me he's gonna kick my ass. And I said, no, you're not. I said, and I told him very calm. And let's see, I maintained eye contact and I kept my voice low. And I looked at him. He's like this to my face, screaming. And I said, no, you're not. You touch me, I am going to press charges. Then I'm going to sue you for everything you've got. And then I'm going to donate it all to charity because I don't need a dime from you. I'm going to wreck your world. And then I'm going to laugh about it to our friends. That's what's going to happen. So please touch me. Please. And I told them, right now, this is assault. People forget. If somebody runs up to you, screaming at you, telling you you're going to kick his ass, that's assault. Battery is when they hit you.
Yeah.
Hector, that would have been Hector. I know you said you wanted to give it all to charity, but if the charity was right in front of you at the time, they're like, this is what we have to do for a donation. We have to wait for Hector to get.
Hey, listen, it could be anybody. I mean, it could be anybody. But, I don't want it. So what
Hector's
happens?
willing to put his face in danger for St. Jude Children's.
Yeah.
Actually,
The cure came with
There
his
you go.
dollar. If that man did not punch you in the face and you stole all this money, those dollars we would have never known the cure.
I got this nose broken for a lot less, my friend. I got this nose broken for a lot less. So anyway, so what happens? The guy, he screams when he realized that I'm not buying, I'm not fucking giving into his bullshit, and I maintain control. And he looked like an idiot at this point. Everyone's looking at him like, because now he's the idiot. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And I was actually smiling in his face. He slaps my drink and he runs off. And then I yelled out, I got the drink package. I'm just going to get a fresh one. Right. And everybody started laughing. But I did say, security, let me tell you a little something about cruise ships.
They have their own prison.
They do.
Oh, yeah. No. Unless you're in your cabin or in a bathroom, you're being videotaped, usually from different angles. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
In brilliant color and HD. So what happens? I called security, Security came. I said, I've been assaulted. The guy slapped my drink. I said, this camera's here. You can look it up. I want to press charges. The guy says, well, if you press charges, that means he's going to be taken off at Nassau because the next day was
Whose problem
Nassau.
is that?
So this is what happened to the guy. This is what I did to him. I said, I'm pressing charges. When we get to Nassau, I'm going to get off. I'm going to go find the police, come back, have him arrested. The guy says, well, if you do that, you're going to have to stay in Nassau as well if you're going to press charges. I said, no, sir. I'm going to contact my attorney who will have legal counsel representing him handling that. I'm going to enjoy my cruise. His life is going to change. And I said, and if you don't do it, you're going to have to deal with my attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
So from that moment on, what they did was they followed the guy walking all the way to his room on camera. They got to the guy. They posted a guard in front of him. He had to pack his things, have his papers ready, and sit there and wait. He took his meals there. His dinner, he had to have it in his room.
That's funny.
Then the next day, now he's shitting bricks because when I left, you swipe your card. Boom! I heard. Usually you hear ping, but then there was an extra ping. Like ping, ping. Like, security. The guy's like, so the guy says, Mr. Deliz, you coming back with the police? I was like, yes, I am. I'm going to press charges. Have him ready. And I walked off. Bullshit. I went to the beach with my family. We had a
fuck yeah.
I gave him a timeout. He deserved it. I took away Nassau.
He was a bitch.
I took away Nassau from him. When I came back, they said, what happened? I said, I changed my mind. I had a couple of margaritas. I forgave him. I said, but if he approaches me, I'm suing him and I'm suing you.
Yeah.
So he was told, and everybody in his party was told that if you see me, and I saw it happen twice. The couple of people, they saw me and then they left the room. Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, see, when you maintain dignity, you maintain control.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what to do. Also, you want to do something that's really, really unsettling when they're talking to you close to their face. Don't even look in their eyes. Look in the area right here, because they're gonna know you're not looking in their face, which makes them wonder what the fuck are you looking at, and it freaks them out. It gives you the upper hand. Yeah, and I learned that from acting. Yeah. So anyway, but I do want to say one thing before I go, 'cause I know the clock is ending. I will tell you this: my favorite day on set for Daredevil was at the end, and Vincent D'Onofrio told me good stuff.
Ooh, what did he say?
He said good stuff. That's exactly what
No,
he said.
that was it. He was like, "Oh, good stuff. All right, I'll see you later."
Inside, a 10-year-old little boy went.
You came in your pants. Everything happened. You shit. You peed.
That's we celebrate differently, apparently.
Yeah. Tony just lets all the fluids out, and it's embarrassing.
It's just a total evacuation of fluids everywhere.
Yeah, it's never again at the IHOP, Tony. Never again.
Yeah,
the waitress was like, "Hey,
now,
I like your hat."
Now I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of one particular actress that plays in the Daredevil series, Deborah Ann Wool.
Yeah,
I love her.
She's really, really nice.
She's smart. She's nerdy. I love it. Just beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. There's I can't talk about it. It's the messed up part. I can't talk about it because NDA, But it was honestly, I was surprised that I got it. What I did was see whenever I do an audition, a self tape, if I give it a little extra, a little something, a little comes out the mind. Sometimes I'll look to see who's the director that's going to be working on it, and I'll look up. And usually they have interviews with them, and they tell you what they like in an actor. I like to do my homework. So I did that with another show that I'm going to be on that's on Hulu that I can't talk about. But all I can say is I'm the super that finds the body. And a really, really messed up little kid.
So wait, you can't say the name of the movie, but not to give anything away, but you can't even say the name of the show?
The show. No, you see, when it comes to NDA, no, they'll take the money away from me. So
stupid.
Union, they can get it quick.
Damn them.
Yeah. So, but it's funny because I started doing full-time acting after I stopped doing everything else, and I really, honestly, I wish I would have started this in my 20s because it's something that I really, really enjoy doing.
There's a lot of people that just say, and not to say that like they're a little bit older, but they get into acting later on in life. And they're like, holy shit. I wish I had done this 20, 30 years ago. Yeah. Everything that you're building for, everything that you're trying to learn and trying to, portray just comes right out. And a lot of it just is because you're older as well.
Yeah, actually, I have it's funny. I have a knack. I'm like everybody's grandpa. I've done a lot of those medicine commercials, and a lot of those, they have me piling around with a little kid. First time my daughter, she sent me the clip, and she's like, "Dad, who's this?" I said, "Yeah, okay, you found out. There's another family." You got me. What do you want? But no, and actually, there was one with a little girl that she has like really, really curly hair. We really, really clicked off because she looks exactly like one of my granddaughters, and I showed her the picture. She was like, I was like, yeah. And so it's like she looked like an older version of my grandkid. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, so like we took to each other, and I still follow her career now, because her mom does her social media. So her mom gave me her social media stuff, and I still follow. There's a couple of kids that I worked with like that. Did you guys ever see the Yankee commercial I did? The Yankee and Mets commercial?
I did, yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Which is good acting because,
liked it, and by the way, shared it to the Podguyz Podcast. I told Tony, I said, Hector is in this commercial, right? Yeah. This is years ago, right? I said, we should get him on the show one of these days. And Tony kept saying the same thing he always says whenever I suggest somebody. He says, Kev, we're already booked for like 8 months in. Could you tell him like maybe 9 months or whatever? I'm like, all right, well, we'll figure it out. So in November, I was like, I'm going through people. I'm like, dude, let's get Hector on. He's like, maybe February. I'm like, maybe? He's like, yeah, probably mid-February. Tony does such an amazing job finding guests all over the place. And not only that, he does a quality check on them all. So sometimes I'll get somebody, and like yourself, I'll be like, yo, get Hector on there. And 10% of the time, it pisses Tony off. They're shitty. 10% of the
no. You know what? Let me clear this up. Wait. We're gonna clear the air, all right?
Clear the air.
So when I go into booking guests, right? And Sparky is hiding his face right now. He's like, oh shit, there are some fucking disasters
out there. Wait. Hang on. This is turning into couples therapy. Let me get my pen.
It's doing it.
Okay, so how long has this been happening?
Now, see, Kevin will suggest a name, and he'll be like, oh, well, how about blah, 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 or blah, 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 blah. And I'll be like, well, Kevin, did you get in touch with them? No, I just asked I just asked if that would be the name. And I'm like, well, Kevin, if you reached out to them, I said, you can book a date. It'd be okay if you booked a date. We can get that date in there for the calendar.
Okay. Here's the problem, right? Hey Tony, I got the email on that. Oh, well, what are they what's the rundown? Okay, great. Give him the rundown. That sounds awful. I know it sounds a little awful.
I'm starting to see why Sparky hardly ever says a word.
Not so much, yeah. Yeah, but I told Tony, I said, listen, with Hector on, it's gonna feel like a day off, man. He's got plenty of stories.
That's true.
He's been through the ups, the downs. He's seen a lot around him, and the hour is gonna fly by like it actually definitely did fly by. We're into overtime right now, which is great. Oh, wow. And you know how good you are, Hector. You didn't even need to be told it was an hour. Right on an hour. You were like, I know we're running out of time now. I'm like, boom, look at that. I'm watching this like a magic show. Last week we had on Playhouse a French-speaking DJ, right? Now this guy knew some English, but it was kind of rough around in certain edges. So I asked him about the Super Bowl party, the Super Bowl halftime show.
Did you ask him what they call a quarter pounder with cheese?
No.
You missed an opportunity, man.
You did miss your opportunity, Kevin.
I'll get in touch with him. I'll be like, hey. Like, who is this guy?
Isn't that a LaDouche with
Yo, could you believe that they dipped the fries in mayo? Could you believe that? Get the fuck out of here. No, man, I saw it happen. The banter.
But anyways, Hector, let me just say, right, that when I book people into slots, I'm usually booking for months into slots. So I have, 4, 5, 6, 7, and maybe even 8 weeks all the way in advance. So we're booking up for 2-3 months at a time. And I'm like, man, Kevin will be like, hey man, how about this guy? And I'll be like, well, catch me in 8 weeks once we get through all our guests. And it just,
yeah.
It gets to that point.
We're not talking about that one, Sparky. The got a pen, the pen getter, Bruce Starr.
Yeah. Actually, this is something that I've been doing since I used to do Rap Dog Radio and Planet Comedy Podcasts. I already have a timer in my head. That's why I knew we were coming up on the hour. As I'm talking to you guys,
God, where's my flashlight?
I'll write down something, and if I stop, I'll come back to it. This is something. Otherwise, you'll start 3 million stories and you'll never finish them.
Oh yeah,
you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So that's why I had the pen. But good eye, Sparky. Good eye.
No, he's referring to an old guest that we had on the show, Bruce Starr, who is the most pointless person we've ever talked to in our lives here. He was so I went over, I said, hey, he was the only point that he had was the point of the pen he would give to other people. His stories involved giving pens to people to sign autographs for other people. And I'm not even joking. He was
the assistant for Richard Pryor to sign autographs by handing Richard Pryor a pen. He was the in-between guy.
He was making pen money, dude. And Tony gave him, by the way, so many opportunities to talk about something besides giving pens to people. He says, hey, he's like, you're from Florida. Kind of crazy down there, right? And Bruce is like, no, we like
pretty
it.
Normal.
Pretty good.
Florida man is a myth.
Dude, even if somebody lines you up like that, fucking say yeah sometimes, or like move it along.
That
like,
was an old Benny Hill bit. Wasn't that an old Benny Hill bit where Benny Hill was interviewing a guy and he's like, so you've spent many years in your career and tell me some of your better experience. He goes, yeah.
Not Benny Hill. No. Hector. It wasn't Benny Hill. It was Jack Benny.
Oh, no, listen. That joke has been done by several.
It's been done for a while.
Rinse, washed, and repeated.
Yeah.
My favorite Jack Benny sketch of all time was with him and Milton Berle, where him and his wife, Jack Benny, and his much younger, beautiful wife, of course, he put himself in there like that, adopt a child that is Milton Berle, right? And, their friends, so their friends are like, oh my God, isn't that child a little old to be adopted? And isn't he stealing from your vault over there? He's like, no, my child would never do that. There's no such thing as a bad boy. And that was like his continuous tagline to the whole sketch until Milton Berle's character, the child that got adopted, ends up shooting Jack Benny and his wife for the rest of whatever they got, right? And Jack Benny's last words were, while wife was like, well, maybe he was a bad boy. He's like, no, there's no such thing. His last words were, there's no such thing as a bad boy. But
I envy Milton Berle because he's got the coolest legacy out of anybody in Hollywood. Okay. He's got the biggest schmeckle in Hollywood. This was famous.
Dangerfield.
Yep. No. He's just the guy was hung like a horse. Okay. In fact, they even make a reference to it with the Saturday Night Live movie. Remember the movie that they did? There was it's Saturday night.
Yeah, we had somebody on from that movie. Yeah, Tony. Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, they even did a scene where they had the actor play Milton Berle, the guy from the Farmers commercials, the guy who played in Spider-Man. He was J. Jonah Jameson. You know what I'm talking?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
So they had him, and he has an interaction with Chevy Chase. And Chevy Chase is making old jokes on him. All of a sudden, because he was talking to some girl, he pulls out his schmeckle. He's like, boom, you guys see anything to say about that? And Chevy Chase just walked out of the room. But
J.K. Simmons, by the way. J.K. Simmons,
thank you. Yeah, but Milton Berle was famous for having like mega schlong. You know, he was
wow.
Which is kind of, if you're going to be an actor.
I mean, that probably wasn't on my list of things to hear today, but
listen. You don't know. Always, you don't know the party that is the conversation we're having the week.
That may be true. But we are out of time, unfortunately.
I had so much fun, man.
I'm glad you had fun. We're going to talk a little more afterwards. But let's end this show out. Hector Deliz, everyone. Check out Daredevil once it comes onto, of course, onto Disney Plus. I can't wait to see it. I'm very, very excited.
It was a fun episode.
Guys, we are the Podguyz Podcast. I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary.
So
and of course, the ever-loving Picasso.
Les Parquet.
Catch us on wherever you stream your podcasts, of course, all the way across the board, from Spotify to YouTube. We're always trying to grow our YouTube channel as well.
Yep.
Guys, we'll catch you next week. We have some great guests lined up, and we'll catch you soon. Have a great night.
Thanks for having me.